Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Tami Patzer, and today we have an extraordinary guest, Nuna Isi Ma, also known as Spirit Dear Mother. Nuna is a renowned story shifter and the founder of the RISE method, which empowers women to transform their life stories into their greatest work. She has dedicated more than 2 decades to healing modalities, helping women reclaim their narratives and embrace their fullest potential. She's also the host of RISE Summits and the WISE Women Rise podcast, where she shares transformative conversations with luminaries in the field of empowerment and awakening. So you have a phenomenally inspiring journey. Can you start by sharing with us what led you to leave a successful business and to embark on a 4-year global spiritual voyage with your family?
Yeah, sure. So the truth is that I was called by spirit, universe, God, goddess, whatever you want to call it. I literally have heard a voice in my mind telling me, you gotta leave your business, you gotta be on your soul path. And it really struck me. I thought I'm going mad. I mean, right? I've never heard anything like that before. I've never contemplated that option before. For me, this 7-figure business that I've created was the legacy that I'm leaving for my children. And yet this was so powerful and so strong, I could not ignore it. I could not dismiss it. I could not say, okay, well, life just goes on and I'll carry on with what I'm doing. It really shook me to the core. And what helped me process it was me standing in Africa Burn, which is the African version of the Burning Man. And I'm standing there. It's a starry night, and I'm looking at this incredible, huge statue of a wooden woman burning to the ground. But it was all in flames, and it was a huge, spectacular moment. And I had such a deep, profound aha moment because I really connected to this idea of the artists that have created that incredible piece of art. I have looked at it before it was burned. It was so many details and carvings into the wood. And I thought these artists have probably took months to build it. And yet here it was burning. So clearly the artist was not attached to the outcome, right? And I thought, well, what would make an artist to create such an artwork and then see it burns? And that was my aha moment, because I felt that the artist embarked on the journey of becoming, right? He became the artist in the process of creating this art. And here it was a moment of letting go of the final outcome, because the journey is more profound than the outcome. And I really could resonate to that. I could resonate to feeling like this artist, that all these 7 years that I've built my business made me become who I am, the person I am, the woman I am. But it's not my final destination, because when I heard that voice, I went into self-inquiry. I really took a moment to sit with myself and ask all the questions. Am I really fulfilled from what I'm doing, from my mission, from what I'm bringing to the world? And the answer was no, I'm not. Even though I'm getting all this money coming in, and I did also enjoy the process, because there was a lot of challenge. I had to wear all the hats of the new company, and I love learning, and that was expanding my horizons, and I love that. But I was not serving people in a way that I knew I was placed on this earth to serve. And that was such a moment of deep trust. I trusted this voice that was speaking to me. And I just decided to follow that trust and go for it. And once I have trained this muscle of courage, right, and let go of my business, I felt like my muscles are now warm. And the next thing was, okay, well, now that nothing is binding me to this place with my work, I had some money from selling the business. I thought, let me go on a spiritual quest. And that was really the intention of my voyage, which I thought will be 1 year, ended up being 4 years. And it was not mere traveling. I mean, yes, I'm a nomad in my heart, and traveling, it's something that really sparks my juices, but it was deeper than that. It was really a journey of seeking some spiritual truths and really diving into my purpose. Why am I here? What am I here to do? How am I here to serve? And that was the journey. Yeah.
That's so interesting that you thought it would only take a year, but then, of course, a time is never anything that we can control. So 4 years later, so in the time that you were doing that, is that when you developed the RISE method?
The RISE method came a little bit later. In these 4 years, I was with my husband. We were by then married for quite a few years, and 3 young children. And I have found myself diving into the journey of healing and transformation. I really had a lot to heal. Very abusive childhood. I had to grow up in my father's house with a stepmother because my mother bailed her boyfriend from jail. He was arrested for sexually molesting me. And she stood in front of the judge and said that I'm a liar and I invent stories. And so at 10 years old, I had to move to live with my father, a stepmother I never knew before. She was very abusive. So this is really in a nutshell. I had a lot to heal from my life and my childhood, and even from my lineage. I'm coming from the Holocaust lineage, where all of my father's family was wiped out, except my grandfather and grandmother that made my father. And I felt that all of that is in my system. And I did not want to pass it on to my children. I really, if there was one, my biggest mission on this planet was to raise sovereign, healthy, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically children. And I knew before going on to this voyage that although I've done quite a lot of work up until then, I probably did a decade of work already. I knew that there is some more. And for all of you listening parents, you know how children will bring that up, right? They will highlight all the places where we still have triggers and still things are not processed. And so that was happening. And my children really highlighted all those places where I did not heal yet. And it was really of a major priority for me to heal so that I can clear the way for them. And so I really dived into a spiritual and a transformational healing journey. And I probably went the journey less traveled. I have tried every single modality under this sky. I've done plant medicines. I've worked with shamans, medicine men and women. I've really done so much, and I can say today with a sense of certainty that my kids do not carry the burdens that I came to this planet with. And for me, that's my biggest achievement. So the RISE method came after the journey that I went through and all the healing that I've experienced. And I think that this is really the continuum of women. We want to first heal what is in our way so that we can come back home to the authenticity of our being without all the layers of conditioning and parental coding and the epigenetics that we arrive here with our lineage, wounds and blessings and gifts. It's not only wounds, but nevertheless, the wounds are there, the trauma is there. And once we heal that and we can embody the wholeness of who we are, I think the next step, the next kind of, mark on the path is, how can I help others now? Now that I found some tools, methods, processes that helped me, how can I share it with others? So the RISE method came from that space where I was overflowing with so much love and compassion and forgiveness. I really did forgive from the bottom of my heart. It's not just my lips, it's really my being. I forgave my mother. I'm in good relationship with her today. I forgave my stepmother, and all the people that hurt me on that journey. And I forgave myself for all the wrong choices I have made because of it, right? In my early 20s, I was addicted to drugs and I nearly died from an overdose. And I've done a lot of things that I would not do today and that for a long time I've regretted doing. And I came to that place of utter self-love and compassion and forgiveness for myself, that from there it kind of rippled to all the other people. And that's when I dived into the RISE method and really have that intention and life mission to help other women rise. You mute.
That's so funny. I literally muted myself. I thought I was muted before. So the RISE method is something that you've created and you put it into 4 different phases, RISE. Can you walk us through what the RISE method is?
Yeah, absolutely. So the RISE is an acronym that stands for Remember Who You Are. Remember who you are, the divine being, the soul that is, that is embodied in this divine vehicle of a body. And the divine wants to channel through you, right? And it's really about purifying and even more unlearning than learning what we are, so that we can let go of all the layers and all the muck and everything that is part of our journey, part of our survival mechanism, part of our, our yearning desire or craving to feel safe, to feel belong, to feel part of a society, a tribe, a family. So we took on all these false identities, the conditioning, the beliefs, what we should believe, who we should love, who we should hate, all those software that we took on as little children without any discrimination, without any filtration. We just absorbed it and we took it as if this is who we are. And this is not who we are. And so the process of remembering who we are is really shedding all those layers, like peeling an onion, and coming back to the authentic divine nature that we are. So that's the remember phase. And this is really the healing and transformation, which I really trust that is the foundation of our journey here. And there's no way through it but through it. And so many people are I would call it afraid, for no better word, dealing with all those kind of shadowy, less likely to love parts of ourselves, because it is painful. And I want to say that, yes, it is painful, but it is a lot more painful to live life detached from who we are, and detached from what we are here to do and who we are here to be. So I really believe and know from my own experience that when we in the right container and we are held and we are guided, it is so much less frightening than what it is actually. And on the other side of it, there is so much release of energy. There is so much more vital life force energy available, because what happens is that when we go through trauma, and trauma is not only a big T trauma, it's also a small t, and it can be developmental, and it can be daily, and it can be neglect or not meeting our needs, or peers laughing at us, or all sorts of trauma. There is no more or less trauma, and trauma is not to be compared. If we could not process it, if we could not go through the experience and really in a visceral way feel all our emotions, then it is stored in the body as trauma, either flight, freeze, or fight. And so all that trauma, it takes a lot of our vital force energy to be kept at bay, to be pushed as this frozen energy in the body, or to be kept out of our body in a case of a flight, because then we are defragmenting ourselves from the body, like parts of the spirit of the soul is actually leaving the body and hovering in the ethers because it doesn't feel safe in the body. So when we heal from trauma, we actually call in all ourselves into this body. We are able to embody the entire soul, and when we do, there's a great amount of energy that has been released. And so that leads to the second phase, which is the I in the rise, and that's ignite. Because when we dealt with all that trauma, and it's not a linear process, right? So it's not like one ending, another one starts, but that's kind of the chronological order, if you will. And so the I stands for ignite your vision. Why are you here? What are you here to do? What journey will lead to you becoming the full version of who you are, your full potential? And, there's a lot of talk about purpose and whether or not we have purpose. And for me, the way I see it is that our purpose is to live a life of purpose. And our deepest purpose is to serve in some way or another, to serve. And so now that we have healed, we can look at our life story and we can start decoding it, because every experience we have been through is part of the divine perfection so that we can become who we meant to be. So everything we went through, all the challenges, especially the challenges, because the challenges are stretching us beyond our comfort zone. They make us grow our capacity for love, our capacity for compassion, forgiveness, wisdom, right? So especially the challenges, but not only, all our expertise, all the kind of, the journeys that we walked through, the significant people that we met, the teachers on the way, all the experiences, they have huge impact on who we are. I call them our initiations. And when we understand them and we able to decode them, And we are able to work with our stories and which stories we tell ourselves. Either we tell ourselves stories of victims, and by all means, no judgment, because we human beings, and some experiences that we have been through are really, really hard and tough and emotionally really really challenging. So it's really easy to fall into victimhood mentality and feel that it's done for us and why us and all of that. And that's how we shift, is when we aware of where we are still victims and we rise into the Shiro story or hero, and we change the lenses through which we tell ourselves the story, right? Because, for instance, my story for many years was that my mother doesn't love me, right? Because if she would not behave this way. And therefore, I'm not lovable. And therefore, I'm not worthy because I'm not lovable. And all those beliefs that I was entertaining for so many years of my life. And when I changed the story, that it's not that my mother didn't love me, it's that she had her pain that clouded her vision, that made her behave the way she did, that just created all of that, not because it's personally me, but because this was the circumstances. This was, it's a whole different story. And when we start working with our stories and we start decoding the lessons, and we are able to dig the gold and the silver lining from all those experiences, we become the alchemists of our life. Now we are able to take all those experiences and process them in a way that can serve others. And then comes the S in the RISE acronym, and that is for shine, because really we are here to shine our divinity. We are here to shine our bright light. And we can't do that when we've got things blocking our light, right? So hence is that journey that we first want to heal and transform, and then shine our vision, our clear vision. And that's where we really start visioning how can we serve the best, in what way we can show up in our brilliant imperfection, right? And then the E stands for evolve, because we are forever evolving and growing. As I said, it's not a linear process. It's more like a spiral. We always are able to see our life from a higher perspective. And as we live longer, every year adds more sense of time and perspective. And we are able to now look at experiences and stories from our past and give them a little bit of a different interpretation and different outlook, and cultivate more, again, blessings in disguise. Because in every challenge, there's also incredible gifts that come with it. And so when we are able to cultivate all those gifts, that's how we grow on a soul expansion journey, which for me, that is the reason why we're here. We are here so that our soul can experience this earth duality realm as divine beings in a human experience. And all those experiences that we go through in our lifetime expands who we are.
So it's very fascinating with the remember, ignite, shine, and evolve. So over the years, you've also created the Rise Summits and the podcast, the Wise Women Rise podcast. And you talked with probably hundreds of different luminaries around the world in your adventures and travels. What has influenced you the most with all of these conversations and experiences you've had?
I think really what really influenced me the most is the awakening of women. Because women, when they awake, they tend to influence everyone around them and they tend to want to serve. And I can see, I think you can see that too, that since the COVID, there is huge awakening of the feminine. And okay, the feminine is the energy that is not only in women, it's in men as well. And the feminine energy was really missing from the male feminine equation. It's like humanity was, if you think about humanity as an eagle, it was an eagle that was flying with only one wing, only the male wing. And an eagle cannot fly with one wing, right? It will go in circles and spiral down because we need both wings. And the feminine wing, which is now coming on board and making this balance and harmony so that the eagle can fly again, if you assimilate it to humanity. But that feminine energy is, of course, coming strongly through women who were suppressed and oppressed for so many years in the past. I mean, if I'm thinking about my mother and grandmothers and, a few generations back, they never had the opportunity that we as women have now. And you can see the awakening of women, and so many women are stepping into their purpose, into their life calling, and really making a huge change in the world. And for me, that was really a wow moment. This is my hope for humanity. With everything that is going on around, I really feel that it will be women that will change the trajectory of this humanity. And what I also found is that women thrive best in community. Women really need other women to rise. Together we stronger, together we rise. And I think this is my highest value, is to create this movement, this rise movement, where women are transitioning from competition to collaboration so that we can help each other rise.
That makes a lot of sense. And it's interesting that you're saying that, because more and more women are speaking up and trying to help with the collaboration instead of competition. So if somebody wants to reach out to you and work with you or get more information, what's the best way to do that?
Yeah, the best way is through Facebook. That's where I'm mostly active. It's Nuna Isi Ma. Also, my website is a great place to contact me. It's nunaisi.com. And I'm also running a Facebook challenge, starts in the next week. I don't know if that's a good place to talk about it. And I am going to help women craft their signature story, because I really believe that stories are the bridge that connects us to each other. This is how we create more intimacy, more connection. And especially if you have a sacred service you want to market, you want products to sell, your story is your glory. So come join me and you will learn how to create a story that will represent your brand and really be that story that you can share in every media or appearance, and create that connection with your potential soul clients.
Could you repeat where people can go to find that information about how to write their signature story or create their signature story?
Yeah, so I can share with you the link. But for now, people can find it on my bio in my Facebook profile.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much. I've learned a lot, and the RISE method certainly is something that it sounds like such a deep process that someone needs to go through. And so they would, of course, I would think that your guidance would be very helpful for that. I really appreciate all your time today. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Really appreciate that.
Everyone, this is Dr. Tami Patzer. Go make it a beautiful day.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.